I'm here in sunny Malaga to test drive Volvo's new flagship sedan, the S90. Now this replaces the outgoing S80, but it's based off Volvo's new platform and architecture, which is shared across the XC90, that leaps and bounds ahead of the outgoing version. Well, it's loaded with technology and luxury. Should the Germans worry, is what we're going to find out. The S90 defines a new styling language of Volvo. Gone are the strong rear haunches and the boxy look. What you get is a more sleek, flowing design. The new FCA platform shared with the XC90 has ensured that the front axle has been pushed more forward, reducing the overhang and making it look like a large luxury sedan. The front has a stylish concave grille set amidst the instantly recognizable tall hammer headlights. The base of the A-pillar was also pushed back to exaggerate the length of the bonnet. The metal is totally stretched over the body with a few character lines to add to the appeal, and the roofline rakes steeply down to the rear in an almost coupe-like manner. It is definitely the most stylish Volvo I've seen so far, and that appeal extends to the interior too. Well, I have to say that it's reminiscent of the XC90. There's a lot that's familiar here, especially this vertically laid out console that's clear, crisp, and of course easy to use. There's lots of premium touches over here. There's double-stitched leather, the wood across the dash, the chrome that gives it highlights, the Napa leather seats. Feels luxury, feels premium, can definitely go head-to-head with the German rivals on quality and finish. You have clear, crisp screens, you have controls, the sunroof, and of course that 19-speaker Bowers and Wilkins music system to keep you entertained. So, loaded. The only thing I found missing were the paddle shifts, and the steering adjust is manual. As for the features, the S90 comes with a sensorless infotainment system. It will allow you to remotely control a few of the functions of your car from your desktop or your phone, and allow you to track it too. The 9-inch vertically laid out tablet allows you to swap between modes easily and view multiple ones at the same time. The navigation system, though, we found didn't work the best, and we had to resort to Google Maps a couple of times. Then, of course, there's a heads-up display, which makes it very easy to view all instructions while driving. There's Bluetooth connectivity, voice command as well, and all the regular functions. There are 4 driving modes that you can select from too. So with the driving mode set to comfort, I hopped into the back seat. This is where most owners will be, and I wanted to judge whether the S90 was truly the luxury car Indians would like. Well, definitely the lap of luxury in this back seat. Space is at a premium. You can really stretch out your legs. There's loads and loads of leg room. Now I know I'm short, but even taller people will be absolutely comfortable here. How tall are you?
I am 1 meter 94.
So there you go, he's tall, he's got the seat in his driving position, and I've still got ample room here at the back. The width of the seat is also really nice. You will get 3 people in here, but the central tunnel is quite high, so that might be a bit of an impediment. Of course, you have the AC vents, central and on the side, so you'll be in comfort in this back seat. In fact, the first impression is that it could beat the German rivals on legroom and even width. But we'll have to do a back-to-back to ensure that. Now, the ride of this car is really cushy and plush and comfortable and engineered like the rest of this car is for comfort. It doesn't let the bumps and potholes filter through. Even in dynamic mode, it doesn't firm up the ride too much. But as you pick up the pace over undulating sections of road, that softness is felt and you do get a bit of vertical movement. But even that is in a subtle manner. You just feel like you're floating along. And even rougher sections of road really didn't bother the S90. It just pummeled over them with ease. However, when we did hit deep potholes or sharper edges, the suspension did rebound a bit jarringly. Shifting seats to the front end, I used the electronic controls to get my seat to the highest position because the bonnet seemed to extend a mile before me, and it took me a couple of minutes to get used to the size of the car. The version we had on hand was the D5 that produces 235 HP and 480 Nm of torque. That's a hefty amount for a small engine. Yes, it's only a 2-liter, well, not quite. Now this D5 engine already starts off with an advantage at 1969cc. It's crucially below that 2-liter mark, so it avoids all the diesel bans that are now coming up in India, especially in the Delhi region. People will be happy about this. Whilst the competition may also have engines under that barrier, point here is that the D6 will be the top-end variant, so it will come with all the bells and whistles. Volvo are also contemplating offering the D4 engine. But how does the D6 perform in a car that weighs almost 2,000 kg? Is this 2-liter too small, we ask ourselves? Well, not really, because, Volvo have loaded it with a lot of tech. The engine is equipped with a 2-stage turbo which enhances power delivery. So then a turbo means lag, and we all hate that. So does Volvo, and they've added a little something that may eliminate lag forever. Now this 2-liter uses something called power pulse, which I'll explain in a bit to you. But basically what it means is that you have power throughout the range. There is no discernible lag. Now generally when you drive at low RPMs, the engine isn't making much exhaust pressure and the turbo wheel is spinning at an even pace. But when you stomp your foot on the pedal for an overtake, the engine produces more exhaust pressure. That in turn spins the turbine, which is connected to a compressor that shoves more air into the engine. Problem is that it's a chain of processes and it takes time, thus the lag. Essentially, power pulse is an air compressor bottle and valve. What happens with power pulse is clean air is drawn and stored into a 2-liter tank, and when you mash your pedal to the floor, it sends high pressure into the exhaust stream quickly, spooling the turbo and sending out a pulse of power. Pretty interesting stuff, and it works remarkably well, offering linear acceleration all through. Now this engine is not about getting the fastest from place to place. It's not exciting, it's not punchy. But Volvo are carving out their own niche with these downsized engines. They're efficient, they're adequate enough on power for big cars like this, and it's all about leisurely, comfortable driving and getting from place to place in a relaxed manner. The claim 0 to 100 is 7 seconds, which would make it quicker than its direct competitor. But with turbo lag gone, there are no sudden surges of power, so its speed is really masked in its linearity. It doesn't let you feel like it's so quick, but for most of my journey running up to speeds of about 130 kilometers an hour, I barely had to use more than half the throttle. Overtakes came up easily, and never once did I lack for power. The only thing is, when I mashed my foot down, the auto box is not entirely smooth, and the shifts were a bit jerky. Now the steering is not really the quickest off center or the most thrilling dynamically, but sitting out here at higher speeds on the highway, it gives me a good sense of security, and it always lets me feel comfortable. The S90 is not a car that you want to carve corners in. It's more a car for getting to your destination absolutely as fresh and as relaxed as when you got into your car. It's got that zen-like aura about it that just makes you want to dial everything back a notch or two and enjoy the drive. In fact, it really wants you to relax. Now this system will possibly not come to India, but over here I have something that's called your drive assist. Technically I put it into cruise control, I press the button for drive assist, and then it just steers within the lane. I can set the range with the car in front of me as well. And honestly, I don't have to do anything. They do recommend that you keep your hands on the steering wheel, but look, Ma, no hands. The car's doing it all for me. That's the warning to say, keep your hands on the steering wheel. Don't hand it all over to me. But it's pretty awesome. When you get tired, you need a little bit of rest, you can let the car do your work for you. And the moment you put a little input into the steering wheel, it overrides the system, so you always have control. It's a standout highway cruiser, and honestly, there's very little to fault this car on when you look at it as a luxury sedan. It does the job it's designed to do, and it does it well. It goes up against the likes of the Mercedes E-Class, the BMW 5 Series, and the Audi A6. So I asked myself, should the Germans be worried? Well, maybe so, because the S90 really sets itself apart in a lot of ways. I mean, the space in that back seat is amazing for the category it is in. And you know what? It may not be a car that gets your pulses racing, but it's one that definitely calms them down. So it sets out to do something completely different. It wants to be a luxury car that gets you from point A to point B in just the most relaxed manner, and it does that extremely, extremely well. So in that sense, yes. And it does have another advantage too. It does have that engine that's 1969 cc, so critically under that 2-liter mark, which comes with all the bells and whistles that this car has. So it has a lot going for it. And it's a car that we've enjoyed being with, spending the day with, and we've come out at the end of the day feeling absolutely relaxed, comfortable after a long drive, and that's what the S90 is all about.
In this day and age, truly offbeat destinations are hard to find. But here was an opportunity to trace the roots of our civilization. An adventure lay ahead as we set off for Bhowmik with a sense of excitement.
Hey! What's up, guys? So then, finally you guys are here.
Yep. What's the plan?
Well, plan is like the days of old. Let's explore. And we've got the new BRV with us.
Let's go.
Chalo. So guys, we are here. And the plan is to get to Dholavira. How we get there is up to us.
Awesome. Let's go.
The route was to take us to an island in the desolate Rann of Kutch, where an archaeological dig as recent as 1990 had unearthed an entire ancient city. But before that, we had another task at hand.
Your luggage? Don't worry, it'll all fit.
Though it doesn't look all that large, the BRV swallowed all our bags, even with all the seats up.
I'll drive.
I'm driving.
You sure?
Yeah.
I can do the driving.
Can I get the keys?
Sure, no need. You got to push button start.
Wow. Let's do this.
We were excited to hit the road. Seeing the world through a windscreen, in my opinion, is the best way. You get to see the local people, culture, and just see so much more. The route to Dholavira from Bhowmik Airport is roughly 220 kilometers, and though we had mapped everything and the roads were just arrow straight stretches of tarmac, we had to do things the right Indian way too.
नमस्ते भैया, ये धोलावीरा कैसे जाना है? बरोबर इस तरफ? अच्छा, शुक्रिया.
The heat was stifling and the haze rose off the road ahead of us. And as we questioned how anything could survive here, the locals seemed to be unaffected, accustomed to the stirring temperatures and going about their daily business.
Guys, looks really hot outside, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, the temperature gauge is showing about 41 degrees.
Wow. Well, you got AC vents in the rear, no? Better?
Much better.
Luckily, our business was staying in the cool and comfy cabin, munching the miles away.
Should I move up a little bit? Do you have enough space? Oh yeah, there's a lot of space back here. Don't worry about that. There's actually a lot of storage also. Do you want to keep some stuff back here? We actually have a couple of bottles. Anything else? Yeah, there's another one. You have enough space? Yeah, of course. Oh, awesome.
Soon we had settled into a rhythm, cruising down the highway, and everyone was really unwinding and getting into the vibe of a road trip.
Oh, did you know the seat reclines over here? It's really comfortable. It's one of the very few times I've seen one of the back seats reclining. So I'm going to take a little nap now.
Long road journeys demand good music, and everyone had got their playlists ready. But when you put a bunch of us together, the calm can't last too long.
Oh, guys, come on, man. The music's getting a little boring now. Can we please switch to something else?
Yeah.
Is that Bluetooth? Can I connect my phone?
Yeah, can you connect?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now we're talking.
The BRV had slipped into the role of being a home quite quickly and was really allowing everyone to enjoy the journey, be it the passengers or the drivers. But when you have a couple of auto junkies in one car, then no one wants to be a passenger for too long.
These are some really fantastic roads to drive on, man.
Yeah. But can I have a go? Like, don't talk all the driving.
Sure, why not?
Thanks. Steering is really nice, huh?
Yeah.
That's convenient, the controls on it.
Soon, it seemed like we had left civilization behind as the roads were opening up to massive empty expanses on either side. The ends on either side seemed to just vanish into the horizon in shimmering haze. Every now and then, we would pass a bullock cart or a few camels, as if to break the monotony of the sparse surroundings.
You think we should be looking for a fuel station? It's been a while we haven't seen a fuel station anywhere.
Oh, yeah, I think we should be good. We've still got half a tank of fuel left and range is showing over 400 kilometers.
Oh, that's awesome.
The wheel changed hands a couple of times and everyone got to experience every seat in the house. So far, the BRV was proving to be a trusted companion. But with so much open space, stall pans and four wheels, it all got too tempting and we drove in for a bit of fun. The BRV blistered through the flats and trips were the order of the art. The off-road session warranted a tea break, and while sipping our cuppa, Sherman, our resident wildlife junkie, got super excited at the sight of a gecko that most of us wanted to run away from. Arriving at Dholavira finally and seeing the sight of the dig was another humbling experience.
Wow, this is amazing.
Beautiful.
Pretty huge, huh?
ये सभ्यता अपने हड़प्पा मौजूद यूरोपा के टाइम में है उसी घाटी की सभ्यता धौलावीरा.
This was Dholavira, a 4,500-year-old planned city that bears a stark resemblance to the other cities in the Indus Valley civilization. Laid out in the shape of a parallelogram, these ruins gave us a glimpse into what the early settlers were doing when they picked this location. They had essentially converted this little slice of land in the middle of the desert into a paradise, thanks to the intelligent water management system.
पानी रहता कैसे था? मतलब मिट्टी के अंदर कैसे रहते?
बारिश में आ जाने की
हाँ.
नीचे रॉक आ गया ना
अच्छा.
तो अपने खोदा है
अच्छा.
ये ऊपर से गिरी मिट्टी तो नीचे आ गई अंदर तो बना वहाँ पे चूल है अभी हमने किया पहले तो चिकनी मिट्टी से जोड़ा हुआ बचाने के लिए जो काम देते हैं ना ये हमने किया.
अच्छा.
As we proceeded into the city, our guide showed us even more water storage systems and even larger canals, as well as the courtyard of the kings and queens that was filled with pillars that once held up ceilings to shield them from the intense heat. We then made our way to the northern gate of the citadel, which was massive in comparison to the eastern one. It once held up a large slab of rock, 3 meters wide, that bore the inscriptions of the Indus Valley civilization's ancient language.
Wow. So all that exploring was worth it, huh?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Look at the place, man.
Yeah, this place is amazing.
So, what's next?
It's all about opening a map and putting our finger somewhere. That's it.
Brilliant. Sounds like a plan.